Sinners, the new vampire horror film that came out here recently. My thoughts on Sinners. It's a film that exists. And first off, if you haven't seen Sinners, normally, like any other video on here, if you come to this review video, normally I would tell you to go see the film first before watching this video. But this is a special exception to that rule. I can't recommend it. I can't recommend that you guys go and see this movie. And we'll jump in to all the reasons why. So, like I said, Sinners is a new horror film. It's supposed to be like vampires, right? And it's a period piece. I don't know exactly what time period it's set in. It appears to be like the 1920s, maybe the 1930s or something like that. And it's about these two twin brothers who have been away from their hometown for a while, and then they come back after coming into, I guess, a lump sum of money, which may or may not have been acquired legitimately or legally, right? And they come back to their hometown wanting to buy this old, I think it's a sawmill or something, some kind of old building that they want to refurbish and turn into essentially like a bar, like a showroom, like a club, essentially. And that's pretty much the entire plot of this movie. Now, if you were hoping to go into this film wanting to see some crazy, awesome, like, special effects and some crazy vampire, like, kill scenes and stuff like that, and you thought that would start pretty soon into the film, like right off the rip, you're sadly mistaken. Unfortunately, all the cool vampire stuff, like the kills and the creatures and stuff, none of that stuff starts until like more than halfway through this movie, almost damn near towards like the end of the film. Yeah, the main action, the main like climax and everything, and the reveal and all this, that stuff doesn't start until like an hour and a half like into the film. So if you were thinking that you were going to go into this film and right off the rip you're going to see vampires and cool stuff like that, that's not the case. This is an extremely slow movie. Definitely a slow burn. But here's the thing. I've seen horror films that were slow burns, that were really good, and it built the suspense and it built the anticipation. This is not one of those films. This is not one of those good slow burns. This is the slowest movie that I've seen in a extremely long time. So much of nothing happening for like the entire first half of the film. Nothing happening, nothing going on. We get one scene about midway that pretty much has like the vampire reveal of like the very first vampire, like the leader, like the main ringleader vampire. He comes across this couple living out in the middle of nowhere, right? And he like tricks them and persuades his way into their home, right? And then, it's kind of revealed that he's a vampire, obviously. So there is this group of Native Americans that are hunting him down and tracking him down. And, they're essentially vampire hunters. And they show up at this couple's house looking for this vampire. But the couple protects him for some reason and doesn't reveal his location. They hide him from these vampire hunters, and the vampire hunters leave because the sun's going down, it's getting dark, and you can't fight the vampires in the dark because you literally have like no chance, essentially. So it's getting dark, the hunters leave, and then essentially, the vampire just like, he kills and transforms that couple into vampires. So you would think at that point, the rest of the film is no longer going to be slow, and that we're going to see more cool stuff like that from that point forward. But we don't. Even after that scene, it drags and drags and drags on with a bunch of pointless, nothing emptiness, like in between. Like, and here's another thing. You would think, okay, those Native American vampire hunters, that's kind of a cool concept. You would think that they would make a return, that they would show back up later in the film, right? They don't. We just leave it and forget it. That was it. That was the only time we're seeing them. They're not coming back. That's all. Never see them again. That was a very weird choice for the filmmakers to make. I do not understand that choice. Why even show them at all if we're never going to see them again? If they're not going to have any actual impact or progress the story, they're not relevant. Like, why have them at all? That's what I'm saying. But yeah, like I said, even after that scene, the film just drags and drags and drags until like the actual ending, until everyone at this club, right, gets ambushed and surrounded by these vampires, and it turns into like a fight, fight to the death type of scenario. This movie is like over 2 hours long or something like that, and it is a chore to get through. It's rough. I found myself literally dozing off. Like, I dozed off a couple of times. I had to wake up and like rewind back to where I left off. Like, it's that slow of a film, which is crazy because you watch the trailers for this film. They advertise it as like a fast-paced, balls to the wall vampire film. And that's just not the case. I think this movie was misadvertised. Unfortunately. Another problem that I have is this film doesn't even know what it wants to be. Is it a vampire film? Is it a true crime, like a true crime film? Is it a period piece? Is it a story about African Americans and getting past like the slavery time period and like battling like oppression and stuff like that? Is it a piece about music, about the history of black musicians? You know what I mean? Because they try to throw all of that in at one time. They try to throw all of that in at one time. This film doesn't know what it is. There's no direction. There's no actual guidance to this film. It tries to be everything. It tries to be everything at once. And it doesn't stick the landing. You know what I mean? Another thing that I thought was pretty messed up was, obviously you have the twin brothers in this film, who are both played by Michael B. Jordan. It's just one guy. It's one guy. He's playing both parts. You know, they're coming in and editing. You know, they're using special effects to make it look like there's two of them. But it's Michael B. Jordan playing two different characters who are twin brothers, right? This film has the audacity to think that its viewer is stupid. They actually thought to themselves during the brainstorming of this film and thought, the audience is just too dumb. They're not going to be able to tell these two twin brothers apart from one another. They're going to be so confused. They'll never figure it out. Now, normally, you have two twin characters like that, you would just you would change their clothing. You know, you would dress them up differently so that we could tell them apart. They don't even think that we're that smart, because what they did was so bonkers, so I don't even know. So you want to know how stupid they thought that the viewers watching this film were? They had to color coordinate the two different twin brothers. They had to put one of them in a red hat and one of them in a blue hat, just so we, the stupid viewer, could tell them apart. Like, oh yeah, red hat, blue hat. Oh yeah, two different people. They thought we were that dumb. They couldn't just put them in different clothing and call it a day. Like, that's how low of an IQ these filmmakers thought that we had. So it's really just like a huge insult to the viewer that they think people are that dumb. So that's another thing that rubbed me the wrong way with this film. Another thing that I thought was completely outrageous. So there's a scene. Oh yeah, another thing that this film doesn't know what it is it also likes to think that it's a freaking musical. It thinks it's a musical. There is so much singing, and there's so many musical moments in this freaking film. It thinks it's Wicked. It thinks it's literally the movie Wicked. It's insane. Another thing that pissed me off was there's a scene inside the club of the twin brothers' cousin, the musician, the singer, the guitar guy. So he's in the club playing and performing his song. And then the freaking movie goes completely like tripping balls, right? And starts showing musicians from like different decades, different generations and stuff. It shows this is all weird. It made absolutely no sense at all. So he's sitting there playing guitar and singing and stuff in the club, and everyone's dancing in the club and stuff, right? Then it shows like like an African American guitarist that comes out from like the 60s or 70s, like during like disco or funk or something era. Then it shows a guy, an actual DJ on turntables. Keep in mind, this is set in like the 1920s. We got to get a 70s funk guitar player. We got a freaking DJ turning turntables and stuff. Just like a bunch of ridiculous stuff. But the most bizarre of all of this was then it just shows a chick just twerking. Literally just twerking. This is supposed to be a vampire film. It's supposed to be a vampire film, right? What the fuck was that sequence? If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the movie. God, I tell you to go watch the movie so that we're on the same page, but I really don't want to put you guys through that. I don't want to put you guys through the same hell that I just witnessed with this film. And I haven't made a movie review video in a long time. I've been so preoccupied with everything else. But after watching this movie and having, I had a certain set of standards and a certain expectation of what this film was, that after watching this film and having that experience that I had, I had to make a freaking review video on this because this needed to be talked about. I couldn't just get this out of my head of what the hell did I just watch? What was this? Yeah, they put the characters in a red hat and a blue hat so that the audience can tell the two twins apart because we're too stupid to know the difference. What if they were triplets? What if they were triplet characters, like brothers? Would they put one in a red hat, blue hat, and a freaking green hat? Like, would they go that far? I don't know. We got our characters running around looking like Power Rangers, color coordinated. Like, you gotta be kidding me that they think like that. Oh, man. And then, once you get past, like, the hour and 50 mark, yeah, all the way to, like, an hour and 50 minutes into this film, we finally get some vampire scenes. And they go by fast. Like, they're almost over as soon as they begin, right? And another stupid thing, there's quite a few stupid things in this film that pissed me off. So, one of the other stupid things was these vampires are the old school traditional style of vampire, meaning they cannot enter your home without being invited in. It's a pretty standard traditional vampire, right? So they're all this. We got this fairly large group still of survivors that are in this nightclub, right? They're safe. They're safe. In that moment, they're fine. The vampires can't get in to get them. And instead of just doing the smart thing and just waiting it out until morning when it's safe, the Chinese female character decides to have a weird rage quit moment and just invites all the vampires into the nightclub. You guys were literally safe and fine. And then you go and you do that. She says, come in, motherfuckers, or something along the lines of that, right? Just invites all these vampires into the nightclub, and the survivors get absolutely bodied, just destroyed, freaking butchered, bro. And I was like, that was stupid. That was the stupidest shit that I've seen in a long time in a horror film. What a dumb movie. What a dumb movie. There's a secret plot twist to this film that I wish they would have visited a little bit more in greater detail. So, the old sawmill or whatever that these twin brothers buy to turn into a nightclub, they buy it unknowingly from the leader of the KKK, right? They didn't know this, but they bought this nightclub from this leader of the KKK. And it turned out that guy had no intentions of just selling them this nightclub, right? So after their party that night, the KKK was planning on coming to that nightclub that morning and just killing everybody anyway. They were just going to kill all of them anyway. Yeah, I said it was definitely an interesting route, an interesting part of the story that they could have went into more. The plot twist on that, they don't go really into high detail about it though, unfortunately, because at that point when the KKK does show up, right, all of the survivors are already like dead. They're already dead. You know what I mean? So they lost regardless. So if they weren't going to get completely wiped out by the vampires, they were going to get completely wiped out by the KKK guys. So they were dead regardless. Either way, that was their fate. What a weird direction. They were doomed from the beginning. Like this film. And I didn't look up and see who the director of this film was, because that's going to make me not want to watch anything else from this director, because this movie, it's all over the place. I don't know. Like I said, I don't personally recommend that you see this film. I'm not telling you to go see this film. I probably would say I suggest against it, if anything. But if you want to watch it at your own risk, if you want to go and watch this film just to see all the crazy, bonkers, off the fucking wall stuff that I got to experience, then go right ahead. I mean, that's totally up to you. But final thoughts on Sinners. This movie had no direction. It had no actual goal. It didn't know what it wanted to be. It didn't know if it wanted to be a vampire movie, a period piece, a true crime movie, a musical, yada yada yada. It didn't know what it wanted to be. So it tried to do everything at one time. And in my opinion, it backfired. In my opinion. The movie, like I said, it's like over 2 hours, something long, and nothing good or crazy even happens until like an hour and 50 minutes like into the freaking film. The film is extremely slow and boring, and nothing really happens until like the very end of the film. So just a lot of cons to this film, unfortunately. And Sinners, I don't recommend. Sinners is going to get a F from me. And yeah, that's it, guys. I plan on doing a lot more. I want to jump and kind of do a lot more movie reviews on this channel. I think that'd be cool. I used to do that back in the day. Like I said, I haven't done one in quite a while. This kind of restarted that and kind of prompted me back into wanting to do review videos on movies. So yeah, we're looking forward to that on the channel. That is going to do it for this video, guys. As always, we appreciate you, and we will see you in the next video.